Kendrick Bros' latest faith-based film, The Forge, appears to have ended its theatrical run, which makes sense. It's already been out on streaming for nearly a month now. We'll take a look at that. And we'll also look at the official release date for the physical media copies of The Forge that will be coming out on Blu-ray and DVD. Talk about that, and then we'll also take a brief look at the novelization of The Forge by Chris Fabry that I'm reading through right now, about halfway through it, so we'll mention a little bit about that at the end of the video. Welcome back to Afterthoughts, y'all. Tim Risto here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know I've been out of commission for a little bit, so it's good to be back with you all. We've, of course, been talking a lot about faith-based films here on Afterthoughts, The Forge in particular, because we've been following it through its theatrical run. So it makes sense, since it's ended its theatrical run, to kind of wrap a few things up about it. So let's take a look at the box office numbers and see how it ended up performing at the box office throughout its run here. We'll hop on over to the numbers and take a look here to see that the domestic box office ended up at just over $29 million. Not too bad. And then the international was $588,854 for a total worldwide box office of $29.6 million. Not too bad, all things considered. Probably a little bit on the lower end of past Kendrick Brothers films, although somewhat in line with a few of them. I'm not going to go through the comparison like we've done in the past. You can refer back to some of my other videos to see how things like Overcomer and some of the others performed, but it's still pretty much in line overall. This is really their first post-pandemic film release, theatrical release. And so when you consider that too, and the way audiences have changed their theatrical viewing habits during and after the pandemic, this is really pretty well in line with things. The other thing to look at, the chart that we've looked at before, here's the domestic box office. And again, just by reference, the shaded area here is kind of the expected performance of a film. The line here shows the Forge and how it performed throughout its theatrical run. So obviously anything within the shaded area is falling within the expected range of performance of a film's box office. Below it would be underperforming, above it would be overperforming. So as you can see, since about September 1st, the film broke away from being on the high end of the expected performance to outperforming its expected performance throughout the rest of its theatrical run. So it actually did really well in terms of expectations, outperformed those pretty solidly. Also, if we go over to summary real quick, we can see for the first time here on the numbers, they list the production budget, which is listed at $5 million. I hadn't seen that before in past trips or visits here to the numbers, but they finally listed the budget. It's $5 million. And in parentheses here, you'll notice the worldwide box office is 5.9 times the production budget. So nearly 6 times the production budget is what the box office take was for The Forge. So that's really good. In fact, Hollywood could take a lesson from the Kendrick Brothers on many of their films by learning to keep the production budget small so that your revenue obviously is big that way too. Too many Hollywood films lately, this summer is a great example, or the last couple summers for that matter, where they've had these inflated production budgets that make it nearly impossible to make back the money on a theatrical run. They're all hoping for billion-dollar runs, so they have production budgets up to $300-400 million. It's just crazy. You're going to have a very appealing film that a bulk of audiences really want to go see in order to earn that budget back. Plus, you've got a marketing budget, all of that. They're making a lot of mistakes in terms of a lot of these studios are. But here the Kendrick Brothers really illustrate the value of keeping a budget small, reasonable, $5 million, and then making that back 6 times. All right, then we go back over to the box office again. Let's look down here at the day by day. Again, it started on October 22nd was when the film came out for previews that Thursday night, made $600,000. And then we go all the way down here to the end. It ended its run here on October 31st. 70 days in release, and again made just over 29 million. They were down to only 96 theaters at that point and $36 per theater, so it had pretty well, run its course at that point. Its biggest amount of theaters was back in early September, where, for about a week it was in nearly 2,000 theaters. And then, of course, it slowly loses theaters as the run goes along. 1,700, 1,600, 1,100, then it dropped way under 1,000. And really here, once you hit 200, it's kind of done with its run. Really by 96 for sure. On October 25th, dropped to 96 theaters, and it had 28.9 million. Really, it was 28.9 million. It was really basically at 29 million already. And you can see that just a week later, it's ended its run here just barely over 29 million. So it pretty well ran out of gas already, over the last week, but they kept it in through the end of the month. Now, of course, as I mentioned at the top, it's already been on streaming for nearly a month. I kind of missed that announcement date, so I zoned out on y'all. Sorry, I didn't get that announcement out on my end. But if we hop on over to quickly whentostream.com, on October 7th, they made the announcement that Sony affirms studio movie The Forge gets digital streaming release date. They even seemed a little caught off guard by it because, as you read in the first line here, Sony affirm, a division of Sony Pictures, is set to release their Christian family drama The Forge on video on demand and digital platforms, arriving tomorrow, October 8th, 2024. So they seemed a little caught off guard too, and I suspect either didn't have advance info on it, or the announcement was made rather quickly. But so it's actually been out, on streaming for nearly a month at this point in time. In fact, if we hop on over to Apple TV real quick, we can see that The Forge is up there for purchase at $14.99, for rent at $9.99. And again, they've got the trailer up. I've also got some iTunes extras here on Apple. Interesting here, it says explore a variety of additional content in this robust extras packaging, including deleted scenes and more. So I have not purchased a digital copy yet. I might need to do that to see what extras are there. I usually hold out for the physical media release, which we'll talk about here in a minute, which usually has all those things on it as well, any extras or deleted scenes. But since the streaming is being released first, of course, I may have to hop on that and grab a copy of that as well. But anyway, that is out, available on all digital streaming platforms, so many of you may have already seen it since it's been out a month. Now, the Blu-ray release has also been announced. Let's hop on over to Blu-ray.com. You can see here The Forge, its landing page here, set for release on December 3rd, 2024, so 4 weeks away from now, basically. The Forge comes out on Blu-ray and DVD, and here it has Blu-ray and digital copy as well. Here's the proposed cover art, which probably will look pretty close to that, but sometimes it's just a placeholder as well, and they change things. But since that's the movie poster and the cover art, or the artwork that I've seen all over the place, presumably they're going to go with this as the cover art. But anyway, supposed to come out December 3rd, so I will be picking up my copy in advance, or pre-ordering, as they have it here. Amazon has it listed for $31.77. You can pre-order that. It is a 1080p Blu-ray, English subtitles. You do get a digital copy of it. Works on movies anywhere. And it's a 2K scan of the film on a 1080p Blu-ray. So there we go. Be looking forward to that. I probably will go ahead and do a review of the Blu-ray when I get it. Maybe do another little mini review of the film as well at that time. But I'll put that out here on Afterthoughts as well. And finally, last but not least, a mention again on the novelization of The Forge by Chris Fabry, or Fabry? Not sure exactly how it's pronounced. Fabry, I think. Fabry has actually done a number of novelizations, both original ones and of Kendrick Brothers films as well, including, I believe, let's see, it says here at the inside, including Life, Mark, Overcomer, and War Room. So he's done a number of novelizations for the Kendrick Brothers already of their films. And this one, again, I read it. I started reading it about halfway through it. I will be doing a book review of this here on Afterthoughts as well, for those of you who are interested and big readers. My quick take on it is it's very good. In fact, the first 70 pages of this are not even in the film. So you get a lot of neat backstory and back characterization. That's really cool. And a lot throughout the book as well, too. Little added scenes and moments and lines of dialogue and added characterization and things like that that really help to make this into more than just a retelling of the film. So I'm impressed by that already. But again, I should be finishing this up this week, and then I'll do a full book review here on Afterthoughts for those of you who are interested. In fact, I'm working to buy a lot of the back catalog of Kendrick Brothers films novelizations, and I'll be reading through those. I've got Facing the Giants, and I've got War Room already. So I'll probably work my way back through those and do book reviews on those as well, for those of you interested in the novelizations of films, Christian faith-based films. Anyway, that's all I got for today, y'all. Just a chance to catch up on The Forge. Got a lot more Christian faith-based films out. The Carpenter just premiered. We'll talk a little bit about that this week, too, in another video I got coming. We've got Bonhoeffer coming up, The Homestead by Angel Studios. Lots of great Christian faith-based films coming out yet this year. So we'll start following those the way I have been The Forge here. So keep up with me. Subscribe if you haven't. Give a like to this video if you like what I'm doing here. I appreciate it. Subscribe, share the video with others you love as well. Anyway, that's all I got today. Hey, y'all have a great rest of the day, and see you next time here on Afterthoughts. God bless. Take care.